New at 11, when does using Facebook break the law? Well, that's what the United States Supreme Court is set to decide in a First Amendment case over threatening speech that was posted to the social media site. Luann Sorrell speaking earlier tonight with attorney Larry Walters.
Larry, let's talk about the case that this stems from. A woman had filed for a protective order against her estranged husband, and then her husband writes on his Facebook page for everyone to read, I want to get this right, fold up your PFA, protection from abuse order, and put it in your pocket. Is it thick enough to stop a bullet? I would be a little concerned if I was this man's wife, but do you think this should be protected free speech?
Well, look, in any discussion of this case, you have to start with the premise that all speech is presumed to be protected, and we don't have thought police in the United States. We don't put people in jail because of what they think or what they say generally, but there is a line at which you have to be careful. You cannot engage in true threats. You can't threaten other people with physical harm. And the question is, in this case, were these comments on Facebook, on social media, that were written in kind of a prose way, in a rap lyric method, was that directed at this person as a real threat, or was it really just musings of somebody on Facebook?
Okay, so if this guy, though, would have went to his wife face-to-face in person and said this, or called her on the phone, couldn't he have been arrested for terroristic threats?
I think so. That would have been a very different situation where you have one-on-one communication and one person is directly threatening another individual on the telephone or in person. But here, where you're using social media and you're posting for the world to see, you're essentially telling a story. You're saying what's on your mind for a broad audience, and that's something that the court's going to have to struggle with, is whether or not you look at these threats from the standpoint of the intent of the person making the comments, or from what a reasonable person would think when they read the comments online.
It should be really interesting. It'd be interesting to see how the lawyers argue this on both sides. So we'll have to wait and see. Larry Walters, always good to talk with you. Thanks so much for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having me.